Back to business down the street for Ohio State, and back to business as usual in Ann Arbor, where there's nothing but trouble going on. Welcome to the live show at Roosters. It is a fun, casual joint. This is brought to you by Tansky Power Sports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems. That is Justin Zwick, Jeremy Birmingham, Bobby Carpenter, and I am Austin Ward. We have to talk about the Buckeyes, but given the rivalry, given the outlandish nature of what happened, I imagine two guys who played in the game might have some thoughts about what happened last week for the Wolverines. So I haven't got to talk to you about it since then, Bob. What do you make of this mess?
Because that all came down Wednesday.
Yeah.
I remember I do a hit with Amber and Ian Fitzsimmons on Wednesday night. And we had recorded. We had to go early because I'm like, dude, this is just like coming out. Like, is there anything else I don't know? Here's the information. And at that point, the standoff hadn't fully occurred, or at least was
hadn't been publicized
right. that was the case. So, all that stuff was just very fluid, and always talk about making sure you get your coaching hires right. And Sharon Moore, you could argue last year, he came in, thank you, and did a great job. Beat Ohio State, kind of stabilized the program, maybe won a great year. But this year coming in, like they're 9-3, 9-2 heading into Ohio State. They beat Ohio State. They have a chance. I think they probably get in the playoff if they would have beat Ohio State. Been 2-0. Like, he had a chance against the Buckeyes. He had a chance to do some really good things. And so I'm trying to figure out what transpired, because a lot of the things that were alleged outside of the things that happened last Wednesday were kind of broadly known about. Some of the transgressions.
Well, not to Ward Manuel, apparently.
Well, I mean, I knew about it in like April, May, June. And
a lot of people did, except people who don't want to know about it.
Well, that's they said they didn't.
Well, we talked to them and they said no, so we took their word for it.
Meanwhile, the little brown jug has a pizza named after her.
Yeah, that's what's amazing. Like, well, they did an internal investigation and didn't find anything. I'm like, well, that obviously means they didn't find anything because they didn't want to find anything, and they must be pretty happy with the job he's doing. And I'm curious as to what changed, if it was just the Ohio State loss, or there was other things there that they were slowly beginning to come to light.
Well, that's what you just don't know what happened. But I saw something where, like, did he fire her on Monday?
No, she's not been fired. She's still
she hasn't been fired.
Yeah.
Right, so that's right.
No, she broke up with him on Monday.
Well, Monday, yeah.
And
she fired him.
And then
she fired him.
I would assume he had a poor reaction to said breakup.
A poor reaction.
And then she went to after 2 days of poor reaction, went to the school and said, "Hey, by the way, this is happening." And then he got fired. Then he went to her house. Then he threatened to.
So you think if he wouldn't have had the potentially poor reaction, that it could have just been.
If it had just been like, all right, she broke up with me.
It just would have been another in a long list of scandals that they swept under the rug.
It's not you, it's me, and we're good to go. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like from what you can see from the timeline, like he was the police thing happened like at 4:30 in the afternoon. He was fired at like 4 o'clock. So it happened all very quick. It was like he got the phone call. Ward probably said, "Hey, we need to talk," and then he immediately hopped in the car.
Don't point at me and say Ward. I didn't have anything to do with this.
And
went to
so Austin Ward?
Yeah.
Before and after, Austin Ward Manuel.
And then decided to get to.
There's a lot of people misspelling Ward Manuel's first name too, and it's like lumping me into the. I don't have anything to do with this mania.
Then he got over to Pittsfield Township and made his mark.
Did you go sweep?
That was like right in your Berm. Did you hop on? I know they do
Pittsfield. Pittsfield. I mean, I used to work in Pittsfield, so it's a nice. It's not a nice little area. But it's right there by Ypsilanti and Saline. It's fine.
I mean, I know that
quick drive.
Back in the day, they used to do like they do the tail number checks, and Rothman always tells me the
plane
stories
tracking
with Geiger Watch, where they were trailing around Andy Geiger to figure out who they were going to replace Cooper with. I mean, that would have been a great opportunity for you with your proximity and your citizenship to the state of Michigan. I feel like you might be in entitled.
I would have fit right in. That's right. I would have fit right in. Just driving up there.
You could.
You could have been photogging.
It's a really unfortunate situation
for
a lot of people.
Yes.
But from a football perspective, it's pretty great because chaos is fun when it happens to everyone else. But you have to be reminded eventually chaos finds its home.
finds it.
I mean, hell, it's Monday morning. We've already seen DJ Lagway enter the transfer portal. Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback from Cincinnati. Like, it's going to be a crazy couple weeks, man.
Yeah. So
Michigan's going to be rightfully pushed out of the.
The one guy,
I don't know.
Lane Kiffin, they said he posted bail for Sharon. He said, "Thank you very much."
And he immediately
some of the heat off.
And then he said, "I'll take your quarterback."
Then he immediately reposted the Lagway transfer portal announcement.
Oh, did he?
What's Underwood's number? Can you send me
Yeah,
that?
I would bet that Lane Kiffin has it, and I would bet if I had to that Bryce Underwood winds up at LSU.
Do you think Lane is sympathetic to this situation, given maybe some of his things that have gone on?
Transgressions.
Well, most people don't know about Lane's.
Not most people up here don't.
Yeah.
The folks in Alabama that I've talked to said anything you tell me, I would believe.
Well, that is nothing compared
And
to
I'm like, wow.
9 months in Knoxville, which weirdly didn't get covered all that much in the 30 for 30 or whatever about him. Jay-Z.
Well, I feel like nothing is being really covered on this Michigan thing. We've if you look back, it's been 5 years of just
nonstop shenanigans.
Scandals. I mean,
Yeah.
now granted, recruiting, burgers, dead
Yeah.
periods, whatever. I mean, okay. But the cheating.
Rules are rules,
and just,
man.
Well, yeah, but it's just like with everything that's gone, it's like they just skated scot-free almost. And now it's almost like karma just comes back and just, even though it's nothing with the football, yeah, I guess it is a football program issue.
Jim Harbaugh, Connor
they
Stallions,
look pretty bad.
Matt Weiss.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a
Matt
lot.
Weiss is the best.
He's the,
The
one
best
that's,
and the worst, right?
Yeah.
but there's been like all of this being just brushed aside. What is the common denominator? Well, it's Ward Manuel at the top.
How is he able
I
to
don't
hire
know
the
how
coach?
he's
In
still
the
because
Harbaugh
because
tree of
But
coaching.
that's it. It's the
Yeah,
Harbaugh tree.
tree.
Because if they fire Ward right now, like you aren't going to hire a new coach for months.
They can't.
So you're going to let your guy who you're going to fire hire the next coach?
I mean,
I guess you have to.
that's
let
the
the
weird
board of
part. Of the whole
trustees
thing.
handle it.
But when you talk about a guy like Sherrone Moore, like he's been a part of this with the Harbaugh tree for the last 4 or 5 years. Like once you start to think you can get away with anything, you just think you can get away with
Gosh,
anything.
It is.
Once you think
Once
you
you think
got
you
it,
got it, you get it.
that's when you get it. That's what
right. That's what
You
Ryan
got it,
Day
you
said.
get it.
Once you think you got it, you're going to get it.
Huh? Maybe some wise words out there available. Who?
Maybe he thought he was bigger than McCracken.
I don't know.
Buy my way out of anything.
That's something. Who?
Bigger.
I know.
Sometimes when I wake up, Sharon's already here.
I've already asked Birm this question, but I'm curious who all you think Michigan could hire that would ignite
It's
a
amazing.
10-year war.
They should have done this 3 weeks ago and then hired Matt Campbell. That
Mhm.
would have been the
That would have
solution.
been, home run hire.
Maybe the
And-
ink's not dry yet. Who knows?
Well, they had to wait until after they figured out if they lost the game or not.
And they had to get through
If
signing day.
they beat Ohio State, this does not happen.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
You think she broke up with him because he lost?
No, I just think I think.
You
Well,
can't
they
beat Michigan. I only stayed with you because you did last year.
I mean, I don't think this would happen the way it's happened, where Michigan is thrown.
So
him
hold
under
up.
the bus.
If he broke up with her, he still reacted poorly, and then would they still just say that's cool?
Maybe he would have been in a better mind space to say, "Hey, it's cool, no big deal." Maybe he
It's
wouldn't have reacted so
Let me,
poorly.
let me hop. Hold on. Let
If
me
he'd
hop
have
back-
won, maybe
Let me hop back in these DMs. What do you make about the other
his
allegations?
OnlyFans people may have come through if he'd have beaten
it's-
beaten
If
Ohio
he's
State.
DMing OnlyFans models during the halftime of the Ohio State Michigan
Is that
game,
real? You think?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that
Do the research.
everything else that we've seen where you're like, well, there's no way that's real. We're like, well, actually, it was. So maybe this
I
was.
saw
as well.
I
don't
saw
know.
the one girl she did an interview clearing things up, saying he didn't offer me tickets, but she was at the game and he did offer her to come to the Hilton afterwards.
Well,
Huh.
Get some pictures with the players.
come to the Sizzler.
Yeah,
See, Jay-Z did his research.
yeah, I saw that. Who knows who she is?
All
Herm,
right.
you're up in the thick of this. You got to start
I-
interviewing
I-
these
I-
people.
The thing is, I just don't care. I want them to suffer. I'm glad it's happening. In
You
the
could
end.
help facilitate.
I'm sorry
that, though,
for
by
his
some of these-
wife and children.
That does suck. He's a 6-month-old
everyone-
kid.
That's the
Everyone else involved, they are reaping what they've sown.
If you sell your soul to the devil, eventually he's going to come collect. And this has been going on for 5 years, or longer. It is a scummy program. Period.
But what about the term Michigan man?
I think that's been irreparably harmed by their own actions. I don't think that's
by
the kind
all
of
the
thing that you
Michigan
want-
men that they had around.
Desmond Howard.
Oh,
Desmond
God.
Howard. He's been pretty strong. And
But I said this.
what do you think about our guy Shefty saying we got to let Sharon tell his
Well,
side?
yeah,
of this?
Let's get our.
Well,
Get him on the pod.
He's actually in lockup right now.
He's
So
got free time. He's
I
got
just-
one call per day.
I assume you've spoken to Desmond Howard at some point in your life.
Yeah.
Did you notice about a month ago he posted something about Steve Sarkisian and the Texas job going to be opening up? And I just wonder if there's some percolation underneath the surface that Michigan has something bigger, like a guy like Sark planned. Because why would Desmond Howard have said that a month ago, just randomly while he was he had a video just taking out the trash? Oh, just wanted to say don't be surprised when the Steve Sarkisian job opens up.
Kind of like OJ's. Hey, Twitter world.
Hey, Twitter world. It's me, Desmond. I just think Michigan is still, let's just call it what it is. It's one of the 5 best jobs in sports.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they have this giant athletic department-wide investigation that they're going to do, which will just be.
That'll be gone.
I think
by
it's
next
being
week.
done by the same people who investigated the last thing, so it's not like it's going to matter.
Yeah,
but
so you
it sounds
know,
like even a better job.
they're good.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a punch card. If you have
think-
10 investigations, you get the 11th one free.
Do you think the perks that do those come with the job, or do you have to work to earn those yourself?
It depends on how you negotiate your contract, Bob. But that's an adventure for the next coach to worry about.
Staffers involved.
And if you're looking
You have to-
for your next adventure,
Oh,
head to Tansky
How about
Power
that?
Sports, your one-stop shop
That's a segue.
for ATVs, dirt bikes, golf carts, and so much more.
it's almost if they had motorcycles or something in there for maybe Petrino is the guy.
That's
No neck brace.
It's an option, and if you need one of those, you can get it. You can find the speed, power, versatility that you need at Tansky Power Sports. They have something for everyone with the best brands and expert service. Visit Tansky Power Sports today at 2491 West Dublin Granville Road, or browse their huge selection online at TanskyPowersports.com. Tansky Power Sports, where the adventure begins. The Buckeyes are going to.
Maybe that should be it. Michigan football, where the
Yeah,
adventure
that'd be
begins.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what Tansky Power Sports needs to be involved in. I think they'd rather.
I think like the Navy had that, like your adventure begins here at
Yeah.
Navy.org.
There's a natural tie-in, though, for NIL with OnlyFans from here on out, though.
Of course.
They're going to need all the support they can get. Ohio State, though, on much stabler footing as they get back to work. Bob,
Sharon Moore, Buckeye Leaf.
how should Ryan Day navigate this stretch? He's got, 6 more days before Ohio State actually finds out who their opponent is for the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
It's Texas A&M and Miami play Saturday at noon. What's the right way to get through I know Burnham asked you about this last week and NFL playoffs and uncertainty of not knowing the opponent, but you have this amount of time to get ready. I know last week was sort of like the optional. You can do some workouts. You had Julian Sand going to the Heisman. You had Caleb Downs winning
Practice
awards.
action, little
Yeah,
dart
so
around.
this week, what should the Buckeyes do? What would you do if you were in the head chair?
I think you treat it like a bye week. Number one, they have class.
So
that's a
finals.
The finals, yes. So yeah, not just class, but final exams. The school is still a thing. I mean,
How about that?
Still got to take
yeah,
those tests.
how about that? So that's what we've been told why they can't change things because the academic calendar. So school is still a thing, and I do believe there is like a restriction, like a rule on practicing during finals week and what you're able to do. Since they don't have a game, so I think that they'll probably have like some optional lifts, which optional means like, hey, come on in here, dude.
Yeah,
We'd love to
get
see
something done.
Yes,
Yeah.
get something done 2 of the 3 days, get 2 lifts over 3 days, and then we'll ramp back up. Wednesday, I think they're done. So maybe we'll start getting some practice on Wednesday, but let's get back to some fundamentals. Let's see what happened, what went right, what went wrong. Obviously, in the Indiana game, they've probably done a little bit of that, but like let's get really good at the stuff that we can get good at for us. That's not opponent specific. There are things that we need to correct that we can handle. And then also this week, as you talked, it's conversation week to be able to talk to your players about what their role is moving forward, what they've done, what they could do, how maybe content they are at being at Ohio State. Are they looking to go elsewhere? Like you have to have those hard
And
conversations.
that's not just portal. That's NFL draft. Like it could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
Where are you looking to go? Would you like to go to the draft? Would you like to go come back?
How do we get you to
choose your own
stay?
adventure?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it is. It's choose your own adventure, and there are guys that will have those options.
Let me ask you, for you guys back 22 years ago when you were at Ohio State,
We'd get pulled in by Coach D'Antonio, and he'd make us watch.
imagine
that
having to
03
go.
Michigan game.
Imagine having to go through
Terrible.
all of that stuff,
Yell at us
preparing
again.
for a big bowl game against a really good team, while your agent is telling you, by the way, NC State wants to talk to you. And how would that have been handled if you guys would have had to go through this?
So that would have
how much harder
that would
would
have
it have
broken
been?
their brains.
How much
Like, how
harder
are they
would it have
supposed
been?
to put themselves in that
I
situation?
mean, I was just walking around that 03 year, hoping that Coach D didn't pull me in and yell at me again for
Something.
not cheering at the sideline when we made a big play on offense or something like that. Like, are we even engaged? What's going on here? Honestly, like, it's wild because I remember my senior year coming out and thinking I was like kind of meeting with agents and stuff at this point in time and trying to figure out exactly kind of who to go with. And like that was stressful enough
Yeah.
of like scheduling those. And I was, we had some time off and I was like watching my younger brothers, like middle school basketball games, and having like one of the age wanted to meet with me. I'm like, all right, well, you want to come and go watch my brother's basketball game? We can talk afterwards at my parents' house if you want. Like, that's cool. So like that was the stuff that was going on, and that's like fractionally there. Like that's just choosing a guy to represent you, not choosing, hey, would I want to go or stay? What does that look like financially, opportunity playing time wise? Who else are you bringing in around me? Like those are all questions. Like I want to come back. What does it look like for me to play? Here's the financial piece. Well, that's good, and that's part of it. But also the bigger part is, well, how much? Like, what's the role that you envision? I'm not asking for a guaranteed opportunity here, but are you bringing in another linebacker? Like, are you bringing in other guys? We're gonna. I guess this year at least you probably have a firmer idea of what the defense is going to look like. Whereas last year it's like, well, you didn't maybe know. You were in flux. I mean,
didn't have a coordinator.
Well. Yeah, I mean, that was after the season. So, like, maybe you're committing to a guy that then isn't there, and maybe this whole thing could change. So, like, there's just a lot of moving parts for that. And you have to maybe make the decision. Is it better for me to be a guy who's playing 40% of the snaps at Ohio State and making X, or a guy that might be making 2X and playing 80% of the snaps at a school that is less than? And which is better for my development? Am I a sophomore? Am I a junior, freshman? Like, what does that look like moving forward for me?
It's chaos.
I'd have taken the money and left.
Chaos is a ladder.
I think you've made that clear, Justin. The change,
just I would have went for the playing time, I guess, is what I would have went for. Yes,
the different rules. I think it's very clear that you would have
not have been there.
More opportunities available to you. If you were structuring practice this week, and for Julian saying maybe in particular, Jay-Z, coming off of the loss to Indiana, maybe getting snubbed and not the attention that you wanted in New York City. I'm not sure if that's the right way to even view it. I don't think he expected to win. I mean,
I didn't think he was going to get the.
I didn't even know that he was
small
going to
amount
get
of
invited.
votes that he was going to get, though.
I didn't think he was going to get invited.
I mean, I guess
everyone,
I get it. Once you decide,
was voting
you go.
on Saturday night after that game.
Yeah.
If Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship game, 90% of those votes probably go to Julian.
More than likely. I just didn't think he played all that bad to just write him off.
Well, it wasn't. The thing is, it's how they're counting. You look, he got a lot of third place votes, which is, I mean, I thought kind of appropriate based upon, if, like you said, I think Pavia was going to be number 2 regardless.
Yeah, because he's coming from South. And
both of those guys just played unbelievably well in the Big Ten championship game, and then the winner probably gets it, and the loser might be too. But if you look regionally, I mean, Pavia was going to win the SEC, and then he won a lot of the West because he was at New Mexico State before, and I think that there was a connectivity there as well.
Yeah, so anyhow, I thought it was.
I didn't mean to suggest he played poorly, but if you're trying to get back on the horse, this is the first time.
It was his poorest game.
It's the first one he lost as a starter, so I mean that's something to deal with. But all year long, anything that's been put in front of him, he's kind of just knocked out of the park. So I don't imagine this is going to be something that hangs over you. I think it's good, having this time because I remember in our day, it was like, all right, we're having actual practice, and guys are leaving to go to these award shows, and they're not there for it. Maybe early on, but still, that messes with the schedule of those guys. So it's nice that they didn't really have to worry about that going through this last week. You get him back in, get his finals done, and I bet they just start doing normal, on air stuff with his receiver. I mean, it's not going to be anything too crazy, right now. And then once they find out who they're going to play, they start digging in on that. But just back to basics, probably a lot of footwork and just the quarterback drills that throughout the season you kind of forget about because you got so much other stuff you got to worry about. So just back to basics and just make sure that he's dialed in on that going into the playoffs.
That did seem like some of the tenor and tone with the coaching staff last week, Bob, is that this first week would be more like maybe a spring camp or a training camp practice because, again, they don't know until Saturday who they're actually going to play. So it's not as if you were going to put a game plan in right now. You can't.
No, and it's also, you got to remember the one nice thing about getting the bye, because you played in the game, the championship game, so you didn't get that extra week that, Miami and A&M got is maybe getting guys healthy a little bit. It's like, what does that look like? Jeremiah and Carnell, like, are they good?
Mm-hmm.
I know they hadn't seen Quincy Porter out there for a while. Like, there's other guys like Caleb just played a lot of snaps. There's guys that have been banged up. They just play a lot, and they're playing through things. Let's get them healthy as well while working on areas that we can with those guys.
I mean, especially the starting defense. You think about it, the 3 weeks prior to the Michigan game, they barely played 50% of the snaps. And then the Michigan game and Indiana game played every snap. So, it does come at a good time. but you just have to find a way to make sure that this is a productive week, one way or the other. It's productive as far as filling out the roster. It's productive as far as making sure that the proper takeaways are coming from the game film that you just watched against the Indiana game, and knowing that everyone that you play defensively from here on out is going to see exactly what Indiana did and try to find ways to do the same thing. So, as Justin said, Julian's been so good at taking things and immediately applying them and not making the same mistakes twice. I'm sure that that's his focus this week, is to just learn as much as he could, because he's not looked confused at any point in this season other than the first half of that Indiana game.
And there were opportunities, I think. You think about that ill-fated final drive and the third down call. I mean, in the red zone in the last couple of weeks, Julian has maybe missed some opportunities that were there. And that's hard. Jay-Z, you can speak to that better than anyone here. This process has to speed up. And it feels like he's maybe second-guessed himself at times down there in the red zone, or what he's seeing. That's normal for someone in the first year as a starter. I don't think it's a problem. But we missed Bo before he went to Bennett Christian there. I'm second-guessing. I'm Monday morning quarterbacking it right here.
Could have probably got that out real quick and given Bo a chance. But, I'm sure repping that throughout the week, that was kind of how it went. So he probably was looking there and missed that opportunity. Everything in the red zone just becomes so tight and the windows are so small and it happens so fast. I wonder if the red zone issues that we've had is in his head at all. Like, I got to throw this one away or just put this in the back. If he catches it, great, but we want to get points here. It's third down.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that turnover in the red zone to hurt us. So maybe there's something along those lines, but I also think the play calling down there has just been not very good.
Yeah.
All year long we get the idea, we understand the idea of all these tight ends and more gaps to run, but it hasn't been there. So there's probably some of that as well. Like up to the last scrimmage, like this isn't going to work.
I wonder, because last week the way it was described was like self-scouting, Bob, for Ohio State, the coaching staff. I feel like all of us have talked about the 13 and 14 personnel and the red zone issues for 13 games, but I don't know if that self-scout and the loss will combine, that maybe we don't have to see that anymore.
Well, and maybe that's part of it. And it's like, hey, let's take a look at what we can do. And the good news is, if you're playing teams, they don't have any film other than really that for the red zone.
They don't have much else to go off of.
Still 4D checks.
The plan is working perfectly.
4 tight end checks.
You start spreading them out a little bit. Now they're not going to know what to do.
Yeah, and so you leave Carnell Tate, maybe J.J. Smith on the field. Like
Wait.
Are you allowed to do that?
Are you allowed to leave your two best players out there in the most important parts of the field?
Line them up at tight end.
Ooh, let's go.
That's the next level.
I would say, I will
worked
tell you
in 2006.
That's what I was going to say. Is there was a time and that was a little different. It was the midfield short yardage goal line, but they come running out of the huddle. It's 4th and 1, and give Tress credit. I mean, he was very conservative in a lot of his play calling and takes a shot up top to Ted Ginn. You run out and you just see the formation and you're trying to get a line. You don't necessarily see who is in formation at certain places. So there might be a play for that at some point. And JJ's so big, it's not like like upon first glance, it's not going to look like a guy that's out of position. And so maybe that's something that you could throw out there.
Teddy had his hand down in the dirt and everything.
Put that 15 jersey on instead. It's like, that's just Jelani Thurman.
Teddy was so small you didn't see him, where it's like Jeremiah's so big he looks like he might be a tight end. So like those are all different elements that they've got out there. And so I'm sure they're working through some different stuff.
Yeah, I think JJ might have a little bit of motivation to carry into the postseason as well. We'll get into that in the second half of the show, but I would be remiss.
Bill Zwick's favorite.
We are at Roosters. And Appetizer Thursday is tomorrow. So, Jay-Z, are you going to tell us what you can get for $3?
Well, tomorrow at Roosters, you can get my least favorite.
Oh, it's your least favorite.
Well, because it's a mushroom. And I'm not a mushroom fan. But I'm sure if I was to have one, I'd probably like it at Roosters because they're delicious. And they're only $3.
Well, and they're your dad's favorite.
Well, and it's a Zwick family favorite, just not me.
Sans Justin.
Yeah.
Well,
which is kind of like, I'm the one, not the favorite.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has to make the best of the opportunity.
Somebody's got to be there.
And it's still an Appetizer Thursday. And for the people that love the fun guys.
You love mushrooms, get in here and get you some.
They're going to be $3 at Roosters. We will take a quick break. Nicole Cox is still here, by the way. She's just having a meeting, and she's pulling all the strings for holiday season at Roosters, where you can get their gift cards right now. For every $50 of Roosters gift cards you purchase, you're going to get $10 back.
$10 Rooster buck.
You get 10.
That's it.
$10.
And that's how they say it when they give it to you.
10. Miss Davis, you're 10.
Jay-Z's in a fine mood, so we're going to talk a lot more about Ohio State, and we'll forget all about what's happening in Ann Arbor when we come right back into the live show at Roosters. It's a fun casual joint presented by Tansky Power Sports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems.
Roosters has been so fortunate. We just want to be able to give some of that back to the community.
They donate to organizations that are near and dear to their heart, and we're so fortunate to have been with Roosters now for a long time.
They always go above and beyond to help support our foundation to further help veterans.
It's just a wonderful feeling to know that Roosters supports the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
All the folks at Roosters are just genuinely kind folks, and they want to make a difference.
Thank you, Roosters Foundation.
Thank you, Roosters.
Thank you, Roosters.
Thank you, Roosters Foundation.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
To make sure your home stays comfortable, contact Rightway Heating and Cooling at rightwayhvac.com.
Welcome back in. It is a full show with Birm. He's been here the whole time. We're out of routine.
Sometimes I wake up.
Oh, yeah. Tell us how upset you are.
What would I be upset about?
Did you know that he actually went to Cincinnati?
Oh, no.
Sunday?
You were there in person?
Yeah, we were at the game, yeah.
Oh,
we don't want to talk about it.
That's unfortunate.
You don't want to?
Yeah.
Well, you never want to.
No,
It's like,
this is what we do.
It's whatever. I mean, it's the Bengals. You get what you get.
He had to shovel the snow off of his seat because the poor Bengals organization just can't follow NFL rules.
I mean, Buffalo, they don't. The NFL rules say you
have to clear out the seats. Yeah, that's
Really?
why they have.
Yeah.
Some,
the Bengals just said no.
Some organizations will take care of that on their own with their employees, and others will, like Buffalo, will offer
they
free
incentives
seats.
to come home.
Yeah.
Community.
The Bengals decided to do neither.
I think that's a great way. Like, hey, we've got some extra seats. We'll
Yeah.
give you a ticket in the future. You want to come here and do that? You can stay.
Fine
for the game.
weekend. Very cold, however, extremely cold. That was
What's your heart, Charlie?
It's about as bad as it's about as cold as I've been in many years. That was rough.
Well, at least the Bengals.
Nope. No,
Is Joe trying to play himself out of Cincinnati?
No, Joe is. I would assume what he's trying to do is get the people who are in charge to realize that things have to change, and
we don't want you to play. I'm gonna play just so you can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You can't blame it on me not being.
I can't solve everything, which he did for 1 week, and then it's like back to.
Yeah, I mean, it's
snap back to reality.
Oh, there's gravity.
I mean, did you see the statistic yesterday? Just not a Cincinnati Bengals show, but in the last 3 years.
Well, this is the segment of the show.
Only 33% of the Bengals' offensive snaps that they've played in the last 3 years included Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins on the field at the same time.
It's pretty rough.
Is that problematic?
That's problematic when you have roughly 700.
Yeah, do they do a lot of 13, 14 personnel?
When you've got about $700 million invested in those three guys and they're only playing together 33% of the time, that's not good. But whatever. It's life as a Bengals fan.
Reminds me of what we're talking about with the red zone, that maybe you can keep Julian Sayin, Carnell Tate, and Jeremiah Smith out there together. Jeremiah will certainly be, I think, a little bit fired up to get back out there. Not that he was going to be lacking for motivation.
I was
anyway.
worried. I was curious if that was like a catfishing thing, like a fake Jeremiah Smith account.
It's the real deal.
Yeah, he's got a lot of juice.
How? Actually, I know how this happens. College football voting for awards has been broken for many, many years, but it's just shocking to me, Bob.
Who votes? Who gives out the Blitnikoff?
I don't know.
Just Fred himself.
Fred?
Yeah.
It's a family-run deal.
Is Fred dead?
How does somebody
Fred's
who's
dead,
not
baby.
the Big
Fred's
Ten
dead.
receiver of the year win the national receiver of the year?
Because the people that vote on the national receiver of the year just look at numbers and probably didn't watch the games and understand the impact.
Jeremiah's numbers are almost identical.
Or they hate
to
Ohio
Highland.
State, so they just don't give us our guys the benefit of the doubt.
That might be part of it. But you watch the play against Michigan on 4th down. He runs the slant and go, or in go, whatever it is. Gets a borderline tackled coming out of his break, strong enough to just run
right through it.
Run right through the arm around the hip,
no flag.
Catch the ball. No flag.
Yeah, no flag.
Oh, it shouldn't have been a touchdown, but it should at least been a first down, maybe a minimum.
Yeah.
But you watch him do that. You see these miraculous plays that he makes. And sometimes, like last year, I always say, like a little bit of this, and to Ryan's point, these are kind of career awards a little bit where you've got to be known before you can win it. But everybody watched him last year make these big plays all through the playoff run that backed up his numbers. And then you saw the numbers this year in correspondence with all of the big plays and the highlights that he would make. And even though the fact that he missed, some time, but then battled back to come again, play against Michigan, like He missed a game and a half and still had really good numbers.
Again, almost identical to what Mekhi Lemon did to USC. So
it's not surprising, but it's sad. Now, granted, he has another year, and hopefully they get it right next year.
Do you think Ryan paid them to not vote?
Ooh, let's go.
No.
Don't give my guys the awards.
It's the same reason Ohio State coaches don't win Coach of the Year. It's just they're like too well known. They're too good. They're too loaded. The roster's got too much talent for Ryan Day to get credit for the team winning games. I
always say part of that is the coach gets the talent there.
Yeah, I think that's
keeps the talent.
A pretty key component of the job.
But Mekhi Lemon was like a 5-star wide receiver coming out of high school. He was all everything.
It wasn't Diego Pavia.
It's not like he's a guy that was an underdog. He had a really good year. He was still not more of an impact player on his team than Jeremiah Smith is on Ohio State's. And, you can make an argument with Jacoby Lane on the opposite side of Mekhi Lemon and not missing 3 games like Carnell did, that Mekhi Lemon had a better receiving core with him all year long than Ohio State had with the injuries and the refusal to play anybody below the third guy on the depth chart.
Do you think that any part of this with the awards season, Jay-Z, can be...
Did Caden
No, he did not win the Allen.
Who won that?
It's just center...
Offensive lineman.
It's a center for or an offensive lineman for Utah.
Okay, well, let's just talk about a stupid award. Why on earth would they have an award that includes the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman whose jobs are completely different?
Just best lineman.
It's dumb, America. We're over it.
Well, remember one year where they changed it entirely and let everyone be eligible for it, and Joe Burrow
won the Allen
instead of Chase Young. So it can cut both ways, although
it's cutting the same way.
Yeah, it is cutting the same way.
They did that for 4 years. It wasn't just one. I remember I went back and looked at that.
That was the most egregious one. It's like, we're going to try to turn the Outland into another Heisman. No, you're not. Why don't you be who you are?
I couldn't even understand for the life of me why that was the case.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
Well, because awards are stupid. You see, the award voting process is stupider, and then when they give them out is the stupidest.
Stupidest, yeah.
Everything that they've done is just become stupid.
This used to be a good time when you just had like one
game left.
And and that made sense. Whereas now, it might not align as much as like it traditionally did.
Things change, Mox.
Starting quarterback now.
It's the only pop culture reference he gets.
Varsity Blues. I watched it.
The 2 of them in the show already.
Jay-Z.
I went back and watched it like a month ago. And it was just as good.
Great.
It's just as good.
Right, Jay-Z's wheelhouse. Just late 90s, early 2000s. Now we found the sweet spot. The spot that has not been so sweet, Jay-Z, right guard. You've been talking about it for months. Now Ohio State looks like they're in a position where it is not a matter of could a change happen. Looks like they will have to with Tegra Shabola being injured and Birm and I understanding that he will miss the Cotton Bowl for sure. And
really?
Oh, is he? Okay, I didn't know that.
Anything beyond that would be unclear.
It's expected that he will not play in the Cotton Bowl.
But we don't expect Tegra Shabola to play because of injury. So you have this stretch now where something has to be fixed there because it wasn't working. We saw it not working.
That's really making me hate the last 3 weeks of the season then.
But especially,
I understand he got hurt in the Michigan game is from what I was told, what I've gleaned.
And it was also, that was his best game maybe of his career, which I think adds to the frustration level.
Yes. I didn't know we were missing him for the first game, but I guess Van Sickle came in the Big Ten championship game and seemingly looked pretty good. I wish we would have had more reps at that position now. I think the last few weeks of the season was like, oh, yeah, maybe we are going to see rotation, and we just didn't.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I didn't mean to ambush you here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm flabbergasted right
He's flamboozled.
Yeah.
So do you think that's all Van Sickle, the Gavester? Or
I don't think so.
Is it a Padilla?
Is he healthy?
I think you've got – Josh is back. He's ready to go.
He's back and ready.
He was not – again, when you talk about things that are stupid, there's nothing stupider than the injury report, the availability report, because Josh clearly
Let's not go down that road.
He was not on it for the Michigan game, but was from what I understand,
he wasn't on it for the Rutgers game.
Still not ready to play in either of those games. So he is back in 100% or as close as one can be at this point. So I think it's a 2-week competition, in my opinion. But you see more.
I mean, this thing happened to us last year, right? Didn't we go into the Tennessee game with a new left guard with Montgomery,
with the rotation between Luke and Tegra and
so at least
Austin Servo.
At least we've kind of been through this before, I guess. Going into the playoffs,
it's not new, and it's not as if Ohio State hadn't already opened up the possibility of a competition. That it felt like Josh Padilla was on the brink of getting a real opportunity before his injury happened there in November, and we could have already seen that. So Gabe Van Sickle, I think, those the two best drives, they didn't end up in points for Ohio State, but he acquitted himself well against Indiana. It seems like he's close to that. And you still could potentially have Ethan Anianwa get into that competition.
Yeah.
I know that this year's not gone the way anybody would have imagined when he transferred in, but it's not like Ohio State isn't devoid of options here, Bob.
There are some good ones, and the question then becomes, like, for my man Padilla, like, how much, he was hurt, how much did that set him back, missing some time. He also plays center as well, so, like, what's the rep split that you're getting there, with different things, because you want to make sure that he's prepared to obviously go in case something would happen to Carson. So trying to figure that out will be interesting. I thought he's done a good job when he's been in there. Now you have game film with both him and Gabe, and you get a chance to look at that and say, which is better for us? Like, which one of these guys looks better? Is there a guy that's better today? Is there a guy that might be better after another week of practice? Again, and how do they play with the guys around them?
Yep.
That's the other thing with the offensive line. It's not just how well you play in a vacuum. Like, how well do you play with the center and tackle beside you?
And if the game plan that you have going into that game, like what you think you're going to do a lot of, and
Well,
maybe one guy is better at the pass pro than the run game, or vice versa.
Well,
so I think that comes into play a little bit.
And there's this too, is there's some offensive linemen that might be better, maulers, might be bigger, easier against bigger guys.
Tegra.
There's guys that might be a little better against when they see movement, and you're watching guys move around. Like Gabe did seem to do a better
Gabe
job.
might be a pretty good mix of both of those things.
And
Because
maybe
Josh is a smaller guy that
Yes.
is better, like, against movement, but how does he handle? Gabe is like a traditional
big dude
size
and-
guy.
Yeah.
The question I have,
Traditional size.
when you
For
look,
an offensive lineman.
guard.
As if there
offensive
is such a
lineman
he's a
football player.
6'4.5", 300-pound offensive lineman.
Typical.
He's pretty much he's pretty prototypical. You're talking about those conversations that have to happen this week, and certainly Carson Hinsman is one of those guys that has to have them.
Have to Haslam.
So, let's say, and this is just hypothetically, if Carson says, "Hey guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to try my hand in the NFL," which again,
Right now?
totally hypothetical.
He's going to skip the playoffs?
Yeah, just see what happens. Does it behoove Ohio State more, Bob and Jay-Z, in your eyes, to just have Josh focus on center and getting ready to be that guy for next year, and say, Gabe, you did depart. Now Carson, Gabe, and Phil, you guys are the left side of the line or the right side of the line, so this is it, and take away the competition aspect, or does the competition aspect right now?
You're saying don't play Carson Hinsman in the playoff? That was your hypothetical?
Bench him.
I just want to stab you in the face.
What if he releases the statement, "Thank you, Buckeye Nation.
There's butter
I'm
knives over here.
preparing for the NFL."
They
draft."
work apparently. The butter
Where's Cooperstown, Michigan, by the way?
I have no idea.
What do you mean? That's where the Van
It's up
Slickler's
near
from.
Traverse City.
Okay. Oh, so he's a white
Traverse City.
northern dude.
beautiful. up there.
I don't think you operate as if those guys are going to. I think you're honest with them about the situation, and it's like, hey, we're gonna try both of you guys out here, see who kind of works, and maybe Gabe, you get the first crack at it. Padilla, you obviously know that you would be the guy at center if Carson goes down. Because then the question becomes like doing the double switch when you prepare a guy, then you have to slide him over.
I'm saying, is it beneficial for Ohio State to say, we're not going to do a competition here?
It's like Gabe's our guy.
Gabe's our guy. We have 3 weeks to get ready with the new right side of the offensive line.
Well, I think you still have to have Padilla get right. Here's
Right.
the question, because if there's something would happen
something
to
goes
Gabe,
down there, yeah.
then you also have to have him ready to go there. So, like, dude, you got to get ready for both. And if you outplay him, I think that you can have some degree of competition. I don't know if, like, hey, Gabe, it's your job, but if you don't play practice well, like, we've watched what Padilla can do, and we know that he can do this at a high level. So,
but I think that the conversation that we were having 6 weeks ago was about Josh Padilla taking that job. And I know that Gabe Van Sickle has made the most of the opportunities that were available to him, and he played well against Indiana. But I don't to me, I don't know how you could just scrap all that. Because if you thought Josh Padilla was ahead then, and I know that there's an injury. Like,
I think, too, like, Gabe's pretty young. And so I think maybe throughout the year, maybe he's growing.
No, and I'm not saying that he didn't or that the situation couldn't change. But if we were expecting and anticipating and watching Josh Padilla push to potentially supplant Tegra Shabola, under this, scenario that Birm is outlining, I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong answer to it, but like, wouldn't a healthy version of Josh Padilla with that level of experience and reps under his belt still be better positioned to help at right guard? he also would know enough at center that if he has to, he could go back there. I don't know the answer to that, which is why Birm is asking the question.
That's what the question is: how important is chemistry with this group, and or how much have they already gained because Gabe has been out there a little bit, and is it worth saying, hey, you know what, Josh, focus on being the backup center and the backup right guard right now because you're going to be our starting center next year, and we need to start moving towards that.
Are you in this simulation here? Is
Carson? That's what I'm saying. If Carson's if hypothetically,
he was going to play the playoff.
Those conversations are those conversations are going to happen this week. So
he won't threaten to stab you. Just
so I think like if Carson says, "Hey, I'm coming back next year," then fine, put Josh and Gabe at right guard and go at it. But if there's any sort of
inkling that he might not be coming
back, I just wonder if it's worth starting some chemistry building the other way, because this is exactly the point as you already said, Jay-Z, like when Luke Montgomery's ascension started last year. It was in November. Gabe's in the second-year guy, just like Luke was. I mean, he did not look like he didn't belong on the field. So,
those guys get better. I mean, they just haven't played, so they get better literally like every half, every drive. The more they see, the more they're working with people, you're going to improve. And so that's what you've got to balance as, Tyler Bowen, I just want to call him Tebow because that's what they call him there, but I don't want to get anybody confused.
Marcus Johnson, Charles Dickey,
as they sit there and look at this and they're trying to figure out like how this looks, like those are the questions you got to ask yourself. Like, how will he look in 2 games? But the other thing is like you got to win the game. How are you going to look in 2 games? You got to win this game to get the next game. Okay, this is a buy one get one every week. You got to win it.
Survive in advance.
What about?
That's why I think if Birm asking us this question is different than if you asked Ryan Day, where he would just stare daggers and threaten to stab Birm and say, how can we possibly be thinking about the 2026
Can't be worried about that right now. We're
line
trying to win a national championship.
When you're trying to beat Texas A&M or Miami.
It's possible. It's probable. That's the way it goes. What about kicker, though? Can we get a competition there? Or is it too late to get a refreshed kicker?
Kicker's like bringing in a bat at the trade deadline.
Or Phillip Rivers, for example.
Yeah, you can bring in a dude that, like, hey, just go kick the ball.
Yeah.
All right, they got the guy from Ball State in there. The walk on like
Jackson Corville.
I
believe he's on scholarship.
Yeah, but this wouldn't burn his year, correct?
Right. No, I mean
it's already count against him.
Yeah, so I mean, let's get it going. I have no problem with that at all.
It just seems like if there's one spot you want to have an open competition these next few weeks, it's probably that.
You don't want to be having that at this time of the year.
It's not that you want to, but that you have to.
But yes,
if you're forced to choose.
But that's the spot that honestly is the easiest it's the easiest as far as interchangeability of like
it's just one guy coming in.
It's just one guy coming in there and kicking a ball through 2 white posts, hopefully. From a requisite distance.
Yes. All right, so at the end of the week, Ohio State will actually find out who they're playing in the Cotton Bowl.
Do you think they change kickers?
I don't think it'll end up happening because if Jackson Corville was going to beat out Jaden, now unless Jaden's confidence is completely gone, which I guess is possible.
He missed
we haven't
30-yarder.
We haven't seen 27.
We 2 years in a row.
We haven't seen him since. We don't know how that's going to impact him in practice. You'll see it before anyone else does. Like as a kicker, you've been around kickers. There's the game confidence, and then there's the kicking. There no pressure, ability.
He has been in a competition with Jackson Corville
since the spring.
That's what I'm saying. They've
and
done this.
Fielding is winning in practice, and that's why I wonder if, to Birm's point, the in-game confidence and the in-game production has to be factored in. Now, the issue is Ohio State got all the way through the regular season and then through the Big Ten championship
but they never had to kick a kick of
without giving Jackson Corville one of those kicks. And do you want to do that in the Cotton Bowl against Texas A&M or Miami? That seems
but here's the thing: you gave Fielding those kicks, and the ones that were kind of inconsequential he made, and then you have one of consequence, and then poof. Maybe maybe it's door number 3. Maybe you bring in someone to help motivate them. A life coach like a Matt Foley or someone like that.
Do you have anyone in mind? Schlegs? Is he free?
That might be the answer.
There's former Buckeye kickers around this city somewhere, right? Drew Basil's still around.
Nuge is here.
Nuge is still around.
Let's just right down the street.
Let's just suit him up.
Slide him in.
Suit him up.
Nate, get
5 for 5. Royce got another.
Yeah, get Ebner on the phone with Nuge. And
I heard it was Nate's fault. The kid, the field.
I knew it.
Oh man,
they didn't have the right personnel on the field.
That's unfortunate.
He's lying, by the way.
Who's going to win on Saturday, and who do you want Ohio State to face in the Cotton Bowl?
Here's the thing. If it was neutral site, I would not care. I'm not always keen about playing. I gotta get my credential on too. I'm not always keen about
I think
playing.
today's the day.
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Well, you said I got my.
You're the
hotel.
mayor of Dallas. I'm sure they'll let you in.
Yeah, believe me, the guy last year was awesome.
Scotty?
Scotty too hotty.
Yeah. But they.
The Moonshine King of Texas.
Yes. Well, even the people on the field, because they've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
The security guys.
The
down
Cotton
there.
Bowl does a fantastic job.
They're really good, but they.
It's the nicest thing I've ever said about
Yeah, you
a bowl
can't say
game.
you have to put in for it. Miami and A&M, they're not even playing yet. I just playing a Texas team in Texas is tough, and especially for a team that first made it there. So, like, if you would say neutral site, I might even lean towards A&M a little more because I think you know what you're getting a little more with them. I think Miami's got higher ceiling, lower floor. Like, you could blow them out, or they could play really well. I think they're a little more talented than A&M, but all the other question is the quarterback. When you've got a mobile guy that can run, there's that element. I would probably prefer to play Miami just a little bit because of that, but I think you probably will be playing A&M in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, Miami doesn't leave the state of Florida very often. They tend to play poorly when they do. Kyle Field is notoriously difficult to visit. And I think, as you mentioned, Bob, on paper, like, there's not a lot of difference between these two teams except Marcel Reed's ability to run the football.
Yeah.
Like, even the way that their defensive lines, front seven, receiver, running back, I mean, there might as well be mirror images of each other outside of the quarterback position.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks are total opposites.
Yeah.
in a
Which
way.
is a big
No, I think they both will throw interceptions, so they're kind of in the same boat there. I think Beck probably more. I would trust to get one from him if we played them. The A&M guy I think he had one bad half. You know, he's played pretty well this year. I would rather play Miami. I think just based off of that. Although we've done well with running quarterbacks this year.
I think A&M's just a better coach team.
Yeah,
looking at Alco versus Cristobal.
And when you have a quarterback like that who can make stuff happen,
yeah.
I mean, that brings another element of danger to the game. So, I mean, I think we'll be fine either way, but I would rather take a shot at Miami and ruin them for another 20 years.
I don't want to schlegel it too much, but like I'm kind of split. I think from a defensive standpoint, I'd rather play Miami. But from an offensive standpoint, I'd rather play Texas A&M because Miami's defensive line,
really
after
good.
what Indiana showcased against Ohio State, it has me a little bit like, don't maybe want to see that again right away.
Nervous Birm?
I just think that Miami, as you said, like if they come out and play their best game, I think that they are a team that can beat you. I don't know A&M where Mike Elko has that team going. They're going to be really good,
but they're not.
They're not there yet. And Marcel Reed is inconsistent. He is willing to turn the ball over. I don't get scared by a mobile quarterback at this point with the Ohio State defense.
At this point in your life,
I do think that.
Well, I think Arvell and Sonny had something
just
to do
this
with that.
defense.
I think A&M's receivers are better than Miami's, even. But it's all about Marcel Reed, and if you can affect him early, but it's the Miami defensive line that I think is what I'm like. I don't want that matchup if we can avoid it because that's.
You don't want that smoke, Birm?
I just think that
if
you can avoid it,
if you can pick it, that's what I try to tell people. Like if you can pick it, I think Miami's A1 game is better than A&M's, but I don't know how often they get there.
Right. Well, they don't get there very often, clearly, but they find ways to win most of their games. But they have to go to College Station on Saturday. That's going to be a tough spot to play. That place. I mean, if you were in the stadium last year for the Tennessee game, I'm not sure if you were. Like we were going into that game. We went into that game expecting not sure how the Ohio State crowd is going to respond, and it was one of the best crowds ever at Ohio Stadium. So that was with 35% Tennessee fans in it. So I expect Miami will not have 35% of the fan base in College Station.
They don't even show up to their home games.
No. That's true.
So I would rather play Miami
in Miami.
Yeah. We'd have the whole stadium.
I don't really care who wins. I think that A&M will win because.
Do you think you'll get a pull like as you're watching the game? I was like,
yeah, he'll get nervous. You
probably. I mean, you always start to dislike potential opponents for different reasons, but Miami, there's nothing about them that scares me except for that front seven. And when I'm having a little bit of PTSD, I guess, from what Indiana did to Ohio State with their front seven. So
I thought you were talking about the Missouri Cotton Bowl.
That one was also fairly bad.
That was no bueno.
Yeah, I don't think we need to think about that anymore. But we
always say Ohio State's been really good in Dallas. That Cotton Bowl notwithstanding.
Take that one out of it.
Yeah, pretty wonky week there, and crazy things happening at quarterback, which I don't really anticipate happening for Ohio State this time, but they will find out who they play.
I really want to see Ryan coach against Mario Cristobal, though.
I think that would be comically lopsided, but
I think even Elko, against him, is going to be. I think Mike Elko's.
That's a little bit more of a chess match.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what to characterize a matchup between Mario Cristobal and his late game debacles against Wright Day, but we'll have
Mahong.
Maybe Mahong?
Yeah, isn't that the name of that game? Mahjong?
Mahjong, no.
Is that what it's called? I don't know how to pronounce
it. Is that something that you play against somebody? I thought you just said
I don't know. I've never played it, but maybe that's what they're playing.
Okay, well, that sounds not right to me.
This is the right time to wrap this up.
It is the right time to get out of here for the live show. We need an opponent to talk about for Ohio State, and we'll find that out on Saturday at noon. Buckeyes will be back. Not expecting any media availability this week. But we'll have the offense on next Monday, I believe, and the defense on Tuesday next week. And we'll be trying to figure out exactly when to record the live show around that. The first time we'll be talking to the Buckeyes again as they get ready to head down to Texas to play either Texas A&M or Miami. Thanks for joining us again on the live show. An interesting one brought to you by Tansky Power Sports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems. That's Justin Zwick. It's Jeremy Birmingham, Bobby Carpenter. I am Austin Ward. Nicole Cox is over there, I swear. And she's putting together all the Christmas wreaths and getting everything
ready. They're going to take down
ready.
that Brutus and put up pictures of me.
Let's
and then
go,
there's going to
baby.
be some new stuff coming up in here at Roosters on Olentangy River Road. It is a fun, casual joint. We'll see you next Monday.